Sai Ram, Sai Ram. We have Ramya here with us.
Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram. And I believe you have some stories about your children, Shrutika, your eldest, and Advait, your youngest, to share with us. So please do.
When I was carrying Shrutika, the whole period, we were in Bangalore at that time, and Prasath was a part of the Vrindavan Bhajan group, and he was also from the Bangalore, from the Karnataka youth. The previous year, the Karnataka youth had gone to Swami to chant Rudram, and the year that followed, 100 youth from Bangalore, they decided to continue the Rudram practice and do Rudram chanting, Ekadasi Rudram, every weekend on Saturday and Sunday, like Saturday morning at somebody's house and Saturday evening at another person's house, Sunday morning somewhere and Sunday evening somewhere. So over the weekend, every weekend, the 100 youth who agreed to be a part of this, in each of their families they held this Ekadasi Rudram. So Prasath was also a part of it, and we had Ekadasi Rudram at our home one week, and this picture here was given to all the 100 Bangalore youths who were participant of that Ekadasi Rudram. And all through my pregnancy, the only thing I was praying for was to give me a baby who will serve Swami in any way possible. Give a strong baby, give the baby strong hands, strong legs, and make sure that some way or the other they serve Swami and be a part of the organization. So whenever, once I went to my parents' home and was getting ready for the delivery, I had 4 weeks left for my due date, but I was just resting there. And then Prasath was in Bangalore, he was continuing his job, and after the 2 weeks after I went to Trichy, the Bangalore youth, the 100 youth that were doing the Ekadasi Rudram, they went to Parthi and they had a chance to chant Rudram to Swami inside the mandir, and he had the opportunity and blessing to take Pada Namaskar of Swami, and he got some Vibhuti Prasadam from Swami. So the next 3 weeks after we went, so the week after he went to Swami and chanted Rudram, he came to meet me in Trichy at my parents' place. Prasath wanted, whenever he comes, he prefers to go to the Srirangam temple and have Darshan of Swami, but because I was too tired, and it's a very big temple, and usually on the weekends it is too crowded, so we dropped the idea of going to the temple, but we just went for a walk in the nearby market. And to our great surprise, when we were walking in the market, they brought Swami right there for our darshan. Even though we couldn't go to the temple, they brought the Swami on the plankway, and we had darshan, and then we came back home. So when we came back home, during midnight, I started getting my delivery pain, and even with the pain, I was so happy that Prasath was there near me and he took me to the hospital, and he was with me to even climb down the stairs. We were living in first floor, so I very much needed that, and I was so happy that Swami granted me that wish that I kept praying for. So he was there, and then we were in the hospital the whole night, and the next morning, it was a Sunday. I was alone waiting for the delivery. I was in the room, and I kept screaming my mom. I was calling my mom. I just kept screaming, "Amma, Amma, Amma." And then those nurses there, they are very young. They were very young nurses, but they are very strict. They are very strict and stubborn. one of the nurses came and she scolded me and she told me, "Why are you calling your mom? How is she going to help you? Stop calling your mom. If you really want to call someone, call your favorite god or call your favorite deity." And that then it struck my mind that why didn't I call Swami and why am I calling my mom? So he sent that lady. I think Swami wanted somebody to remind me that he is there, and why did I forget that in the first place? And I started crying and screaming about Saima, Saima. I started screaming Saima. Till the time I went into the delivery room, I was screaming Saima whenever I had a pain. So yeah, even though like in our difficult times, even like as a person, even if we forget to remember Swami, he makes sure that he reminds us that, and he gives that confidence to us that he is there with us and we need not worry about anything. So that was something that I would always relish and remember.
So with Swami's grace, obviously, that delivery went well and gave us Shrutika. Tell us a little bit about your younger one, Advait, and what happened with that process.
This was in, so he was born in May, but he was around, when he was around 37 weeks, everything was smooth. I had every checkup was normal, so I was expecting a normal delivery. But on my 37th week checkup, the doctor told me from the scan that the baby has gone into breech. So that was a something that we didn't expect. So she wanted me to book an appointment or fix the date for the cesarean. So she didn't give me much choice. She gave me a date which was the next Thursday. So we went and got admitted for the C-section, and they had asked me, they had informed us that the operation itself would take place around 7 or 7:30 a.m. Around 8:30 they were ready to take me, and they took me to the operation theatre, and Prasath was there with me, and Addo was exactly born at 9 o'clock. So it was all fine till so the evening came, and he was a little bit kind of sleepy and he wasn't feeding anything, so we kept trying to wake him up to take some feed, but he was still continuing to sleep. So after that, the nurses from the nursery, they wanted to take his check his regular, like his pulses and everything. They wanted to do their routine evening checkup. So they took the baby to the nursery, but after that it was more than an hour or so, and they didn't bring him back to our room. I was a little bit concerned even, so I kept pestering Prasad to go and check on the babies and why they weren't bringing him back to the room from the nursery. It has been a while and they didn't bring the baby back. So when he went, he saw that they had kept the baby, they have put oxygen on him, and he was kept in the incubator. So the next day morning, the doctor came and he took his x-rays and he checked all the statistics, and then he said the oxygen levels are still low and we couldn't figure out a reason, and that hospital didn't have a specialized NICU there. So the doctor suggested that we move him to another children's specialist hospital where he could get all the neonatal care and all the specific tests that can be done. So he arranged for the transfer, and so meanwhile this our very close Sai family from Jersey City, they had just called on to check on us, how we were doing, how the baby was doing, and Prasad informed them that we are under the situation. So this family, they had a small, very little quantity of Swami's materialized Vibhuti, whom they got from their relative, specifically for their personal use. But as soon as they heard about our struggle, they immediately, the lady, she had also given birth only a few months back, and she had a very little baby in her hands, but she left that baby with her mother-in-law, and she rushed to the hospital to share that materialized Vibhuti, special Vibhuti with us. She wanted to somehow give it to us. So she came rushing. The moment she came into the room, that very same moment, the people who were transferring him to the other hospital, they were bringing Addu back from the nursery. They were with the incubator. They were bringing him to my room to just show him to me before taking him to the other hospital. Because I had undergone C-section, I couldn't move. So I couldn't go and see the baby in the nursery before they took him. So they brought him to my room, and that very same moment, this lady came with Swami's Vibhuti, and so I asked her to apply it on the baby before they just took him to the other hospital. We were all just focusing on only one thing, that Swami has to take care of him, and that's why he has sent that Vibhuti at that right moment. If she had come even like 5 minutes later, they would have taken him to the other hospital, and I don't know if we would have gotten away to send that Vibhuti to be applied on him. But yeah, he knows the right time, so she came at the right moment and gave that Vibhuti to him, applied it on him. So he went to the NICU. He was there in the other hospital for 9 days. The number 9 is somehow related to us, but he actually recovered. They took all the tests, but he didn't have any complications. He had something called pneumothorax, but he recovered without any medication. He just recovered by himself, but they had to keep him longer to just do all to make sure that he doesn't have any other complication, or to make sure that there is no other reason why this pneumothorax happened in the first place. I think it's again Swami's wish. For whatever reason, I was in other hospital, I had to go through it, but eventually Swami was there to take care of him, and till date we believe that he is taking care of every little thing that my children go through. So they are safe in Swami's hands. Like we are like physical parents, we are taking care of day-to-day life, but he is ultimately there. He is through us to take care of these children. Siren.
True knowing boundless God. True knowing boundless God. True God. Knowing God. Boundless God. Boundless God. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma.